sa DZRH, sa Elizalde.
Forget the past, it's time to mend.
A corporate thing.
So, ang sinasabi ko na lang,
Isang mapayapang hapon, Pilipinas. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH at sa lahat ng nanonood ng RHTV. Lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Habang kasagsagan ng summer, kasama ding nag-iinit ang aming mga studio sa Ballet Manila dahil napakaraming aktibidad ang nangyayari ng sabay-sabay. Kasama na dyan ang aming summer workshop na Just Dance 2014 na sa araw na ito mismo ay magkakaroon ng recital sa Aliw Theater, kung saan guest performer ang dating Ballet Manila dancer na ngayon ay Joffrey Ballet soloist na si Christine Rocas. Kasabay nito, sinimulan na din namin ang aming rehearsals para sa 19th season ng Ballet Manila, kung saan magkakaroon kami ng ilang world premiere performances ng mga bagong likha ng mga bata at magagaling na choreographers. Sa hapong ito, inanyayahan namin ang isa sa mga choreographers na magpapakita ng kanyang bagong obra para sa Ballet Manila sa taong ito. Isang dating dancer mula sa The Royal Ballet na ngayon ay isang premiadong international choreographer, filmmaker at movement director. Samahan ninyo kami sa kalahating oras ng masayang kwentuhan kasama ang ating espesyal na panauhin na si Mr. Jonathan Watkins.
Isinilang sa Inglaterra, si Jonathan Watkins ay tinanggap bilang estudyante sa The Royal Ballet School nung 12 anyos pa lamang. Maagang nakita ang kanyang likas na talento sa choreography nang mapanalunan ang Kenneth Macmillan Choreography Competition sa kanilang paaralan sa edad na 16. Nang magtapos sa pag-aaral, tinanggap siya bilang dancer sa The Royal Ballet Company, subalit patuloy pa rin siyang gumawa ng maiigsing ballet pieces para sa The Clore Studio at sa Linbury Studio Theater. Dumating ang pagkakataon na magkaroon siya ng main stage debut sa The Royal Ballet bilang choreographer noong 2010 sa piyesang pinamagatang As One. Sinundan ito ng isang collaboration kasama ang Royal Opera House para sa Metamorphosis Titian 2012 na naging nominado sa South Bank Award for Dance noong 2013. Bago nito, nagkaroon siya ng international debut sa New York Choreography Institute noong 2008 para sa piyesang Now na itinanghal sa New York City Ballet. Kasama rin sa kanyang mga international commissions ang eventual progress para sa Ekaterinburg Ballet Theater sa Russia. Noong 2011, nagsimula siyang gumawa ng short dance films at kamakailan lang ay pumasok na din sa larangan ng movement direction para sa tanghalan. Isang mainit na pagsalubong ang hatid ng Art2art sa premyadong British choreographer na si Jonathan Watkins.
Kasama po natin ang kilalang British choreographer na si Jonathan Watkins. Good afternoon, Jonathan, and welcome to Art2art.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay, don't worry, this interview is going to be in English.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah, my Tagalog is not good.
Yeah. Jonathan, you're here as the guest choreographer for Ballet Manila, and you are doing a piece for, I think it's going to be 5 couples in Ballet Manila, right?
Yeah, there's actually 11 people in the whole cast.
Okay.
So there's 5 couples and 1 like odd guy that's in it. Yeah.
Okay. And how are you finding the Philippines so far?
It's amazing. I'm loving being here. I've been made to feel really welcome. Like everyone's so nice, like and beautiful, and it's just really an honor to be here and creating in this sort of different, inspiring environment.
Is it very different from your past work?
Well, the kind of environment and the studios are quite different for me, but I love difference. I like embrace difference, and I think that it's just really important to do that. But in terms of like how I'm working and how the dancers work, it's not very different, really. You know, it's kind of like the universal language of dance always, you know, it translates to any country, really, I think. The only difference really is the kind of the environment and the studios and the sort of inside-outside studio space.
Thank you. Jonathan, you are actually very, very young to be retired from dancing and into choreography. So was choreography a calling for you from the very beginning? How did you first get into dancing and then into choreography? Tell us your
life story.
Yes.
Okay, in bullet points. Well, I started when I was young, really young, sort of maybe like 6 or 7, and it kind of came from having like loads of energy, just like dancing at like weddings and just occasions, and also just like around the living room and making up my own like steps to music, whatever that may be. Like my family just had like a record player, and I used to just put, you know, different records on and like jump about and like, you know, when you're young, that's kind of what you do. And I did all sorts of things when I was young, sort of like gymnastics and swimming and tennis and all different horse riding, everything. But then I kind of, from people speaking to my parents saying like, oh, he should sort of do dancing a little, you know, he should go to lessons, and so I kind of tried out, and I didn't really like it at first, the kind of like routine of it all, because I think I'd been used to like doing my own thing and kind of like dancing around, and then it was just very, you know, disciplined like ballet training is. And so I went locally in Barnsley, South Yorkshire in England, which is where I'm from, until I was 12, and that's when I went to the Royal Ballet School, which everything got more serious and more focused, along with peers and colleagues that really wanted to make a career out of being a professional dancer. And so I went all through the system from 12 to 19, and then I graduated into the Royal Ballet. And so that was kind of my dancer track, but while I was at the Royal Ballet School, there was lots of kind of opportunities to choreography competitions. And so we were all kind of encouraged to take part. And I did, like, throughout the years. And
so you were choreographing as a student, as a teenager, you were choreographing already?
Yes, at 13, I sort of did my first duet, but it didn't get into the competition, actually, because it was, like, deemed too, like, modern to get in, which I kind of, I like telling that story because I think it tells you a lot about, like, the environment in which I was working, well, studying and creating. But then the next year I managed to get in, and I got second prize in that competition, but then the next year I won the competition. And then the piece that I created actually was performed like as part of the school performances. So it kind of went from the competition into kind of part of our performance at the end of the year. And I continued at upper school, which is the 16 to 19 years of age at the Royal Ballet Upper School. And then when I got into the company, I kind of did lots of different choreography work in sort of smaller studios to start with, and then built up to like the bigger studio theatre in the Royal Opera House, and then finally in 2010, Dame Monica Mason commissioned me to make my first piece for the main stage at the Opera House, which was like a massive learning curve for me, and getting to work with, like, you know, a team and a composer that I commissioned, and a designer, and just putting the whole thing together, because it's not just about like creating steps, it's about the kind of overall like look and the overall feeling of like all the different mediums coming together to create like a platform for whatever you want to sort of portray through dance. And so that's kind of my first big like collaboration, and in 2010 for the the Royal Ballet. And so I kind of worked there for 10 years, dancing in the repertoire of the company, creating roles as a dancer with other choreographers, as well as doing soloist parts in the existing repertoire.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I sort of always juggled the choreography and the dancing and doing other projects outside of the company as well. And then it just all kind of clicked together, and my sort of, even though I am sort of like young to be giving up dancing, it kind of clicked for me in my head to sort of go, I've been juggling it for so long, and I kind of want to put the other balls down and just focus on this kind of one thing that I feel really passionate about. So I just decided to sort of take the leap and really sort of fulfill those kind of creative dreams and ambitions, really. So, and I've not looked back, and I'm really...
And fantastic, and there's no regrets.
No, I mean, not for now. You know, I'm you know, trying to live in the now, which I think is quite hard, you know, when you have to sort of look to what you're going to be doing next. But I'm trying to sort of live in the creative now and sort of experience, you know, these different experiences that are presenting themselves, like coming here and, you know, being inspired by the environment and the dancers that I'm working with here. Rather than coming with a sort of preconceived idea of what I want to create. With this piece, I kind of wanted to come here and experience like what the dancers had to offer, what energy and what they brought to the process. And so I kind of let that kind of lead me a little bit.
Okay, we'll talk more about that later. But let's backtrack a little bit to your career as a dancer first in the Royal Ballet. Can you tell us like maybe a highlight of your dancing career, a favorite role perhaps, or a favorite ballet that you enjoy dancing in? Yeah,
one thing that stands out for me is a ballet by Kenneth Macmillan called Elite Syncopations, and it's a half an hour, one act piece that he created I think in like the 70s, but it had a bit of a circular meaning for me because it was one of the first ballets I kind of saw when I went to see Birmingham Royal Ballet perform a triple bill of 3 different works, and that was one of the works that I saw, and I just really loved the kind of balletic, like jazz inspired sort of colourful nature of it. And so that kind of stayed in my mind, and then years later it came up in the repertoire, and I got to dance one of the roles in that, which was kind of one of the sort of lead soloist kind of roles in the ballet. And for me that was just really like, oh, I saw it when I was 10 and now I'm dancing it like with the Royal Ballet. And so that was kind of a real nice moment for me. I mean, I've got quite a few, like Benvolio in Romeo and Juliet. I really enjoyed kind of going on that character journey throughout like a 3-act ballet, and also, you know, sort of interacting with Romeo and Mercutio and being like part of these like 3 guy friends like in this beautiful story with amazing music. And then like the modern roles that I created were quite a highlight for me. I was sort of plucked when I was younger to create one of Wayne McGregor's ballets called Chroma, which kind of was this real big hit at the time and sort of led to him becoming resident choreographer. And he sort of like chose me out of the corps de ballet when I was like younger to kind of be in like I think a cast of 10 with like all sort of the principal dancers at the time to create like this unique dance piece. And so that was quite a highlight for me. I just really enjoyed having something created on me. Because up until then I'd just been dancing the kind of existing repertoire. So sorry, it's not one highlight, but it's just a few highlights really. So that's what I've enjoyed.
So does your because you have like favorites as a dancer, does that also translate into your choreographic style? The favorite movements or the favorite style goes into your choreography? Or is not always the case?
Not always the case. I think recently, like in the last year, I've kind of worked in sort of different mediums, whether it's been like on film or whether it's been in the theatre or whether it's been with ballet companies, I try to sort of absorb what I've learned, like in terms of the process, but also in terms of the movement capabilities within those mediums, and I try to like bring them together. So there's a lot of inspirations from like the past experience, the past projects that I've done, but also, you know, it's always from a very balletic base and a balletic movement vocabulary, but perhaps, like I call it like quirkified, which isn't an English word, but it's like quirkified my sort of take on it, whether it's inspired by the music or the people that I'm creating it with. And so it's using what I know and what I've learned from an early age, but then sort of adding the different layers and adding the different dimensions to it, to create like a different look or a different movement vocabulary. Because for me as an artist and a creative, I don't really want to be repeating my process, and so whether it's in England or Russia or the Philippines, I want those not to be repeat processes for me, so I kind of get inspired by the difference that people create. And also each dancer brings something different, and I think I'm a great believer in like the individual and what they bring to a performance, and so I almost see it as like I'm creating this structure or maybe a box for a dancer, but I'm allowing them to like rattle around in that box, and so I'm creating the structure and the sort of parameters of it, but I always kind of want them to bring something to the performance and bring something to the movement as well.
Wow, so as artistic director, it's going to be really interesting for me to see what the 11 dancers are going to bring with you on stage very soon in our upcoming season. But hang on. We will get back to that after the commercial break, okay?
Okay.
Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan kasama ang tanyag na British choreographer na si Jonathan Watkins dito pa rin sa Art2art. Magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art2art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto, update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art2art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa sining biswal, inihahandog ng Korean Cultural Center in the Philippines ang 2014 Philippine-Korean Contemporary Art Exchange Exhibition upang ipagdiwang ang 65 taong bilateral relations sa pagitan ng Korea at ng Pilipinas. May temang Coexistence in Asia. Ang exhibit ay makikita simula May 30 hanggang July 26. Magkakaroon ng artists talk at lecture sa May 30 alas 2 hanggang alas 3:30 ng hapon. Ang Korean Cultural Center in the Philippines ay matatagpuan sa second level, Mancor Corporate Building, 32nd Street, Bonifacio Global City, Taguig. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, tumawag sa events at koreanculture.ph or call 555-1711. Inihahandog ng Museum of Contemporary Art and Design o MCAD ang exhibit na pinamagatang The Surface of the World, Architecture and the Moving Image mula June 6 hanggang September 26. Tampok ang mga obra na pawang video-based. Ang MCAD ay matatagpuan sa first level ng De La Salle College of St. Benilde Building, 950 Pablo Ocampo Street, Manila. Mga bulaklak at paru-paro ang tema ng solo exhibit ni Ina Vitasa na pinamagatang Summer Breeze. Ito ay makikita sa Art Elements Asian Gallery hanggang May 26. Ang Art Elements ay matatagpuan sa Level 3 SM Aura Premier, Bonifacio Global City, Taguig. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, tumawag sa 519-9683.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Kasama ang balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja. Art2art.
Kasama pa rin natin ang British choreographer na si Jonathan Watkins. Okay, Jonathan, now tell us about the ballet that you're creating for Ballet Manila? Who are the other artists involved, and whose music are you using? That sort of thing.
Yeah, well...
But don't give it all away.
Okay, I won't. So, yeah, firstly, I suppose, for the ballet, there's kind of 3 points of inspiration, really. The first, like I said before, like the kind of dancers that I'm creating it with, and so that was a thing that I wanted to come at first and sort of workshop and sort of play with ideas and play with different music and sort of get to know like the dancers and get to know the company. And so that has kind of taken me on a certain like direction of inspiration. So that's kind of point one. And then I've sort of honed that in, which leads to point two, which is the musical inspiration. And I kind of set myself a bit of a challenge because I've actually never worked with composers that are not around anymore. So I have gone with Beethoven, and it's a piano sonata. It's in it's his piano sonata in C major, and I kind of wanted to play with that musical inspiration, the sort of like the classicism of it, but then to sort of interpret it in a modern way and to sort of like quirkify the movement and sort of highlight the different nuances within the musicality. And so it's almost like what you hear and what you see on stage is sort of painted out. So it's a kind of physical representation of the music. And so it's in 3 sections, and it sort of goes on a sort of musical journey. But then it leads really to point 3 because it is an abstract ballet in a sense, but it's, with my inspiration, it's playing with this idea, like I mentioned earlier, of sort of like the journey of things. And so you always have a start and a beginning, but actually it's about the process and it's about the journey. And so I kind of wanted to punctuate this very clear, like you have a start and you have a finish and you have an in-between, but you also should allow yourself to see the journey and see the process. And so that's something that I kind of believe in my everyday life and try and, you know, live in the present as much as possible. And so I wanted to try and sort of reflect that in the work. And so it's not something that you need to know to be able to see the ballet, because it's very accessible in terms of like the movement and what plays out during the half an hour piece. But for me as a creator, I kind of was playing with this idea of like we all start somewhere, we all possibly finish somewhere, but it's about the journey that we go on, whether it's the highs and the lows, and appreciating the highs, appreciating the lows, in order to know and to sort of differentiate between the two. And so, yeah, those are kind of like the kind of 3 points of inspiration really for the ballet, like the dancers and what they bring to it, the musicality and the kind of like sort of abstract concept of like the journey of things.
Okay. And working with Filipinos or working in Ballet Manila, any like difference in the way you're working now with in the Philippines then, and as compared to your experiences working abroad?
Yeah, I kind of get asked this question wherever I go. I kind of, you know, there's always going to be nuances and differences in terms of like, you know, people have trained differently in ballet, or there's different techniques that are displayed. I think what struck me here is the kind of energy and the enthusiasm in the room and the focus and the kind of delivery of the material of the kind of choreography that I'm asking of the dancers. And so I think the energy and the kind of enthusiasm is quite different to some of the places that I've been. But ultimately, I think I love to see the similarities, because with dancers, it kind of breeds a certain person, or it kind of develops like similarities in a kind of working environment. But I would definitely say a major difference is the kind of enthusiasm and the energy that the dancers are bringing to the table and bringing to the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
think so.
fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a major difference. But there's a lot of similarities wherever you go. You know, I've been to places where people don't speak my language, and so that's a different experience. But everyone like completely understands like what I'm trying to, you know, demonstrate or ask of them. So there's not that kind of barrier, whereas I've experienced that in other countries. But yeah, I think that would be a big difference.
And it's your first time in the Philippines?
Yeah.
So have you been able to see a little bit of our country?
Yeah, I have, and I'm so pleased I have. Because we had a break in our working schedule, and because of Holy Week, I managed to get a plane and then a plane and then a car and then a boat to a little island just off Coron, is it? Is it in the Palawan?
Yes.
Yeah, area.
Yeah.
So it was a little island called Sangat with just its own beach, and I got to do scuba diving on shipwrecks and reefs and saw turtles and everything, which was amazing for me. I've never done that before.
Yeah.
And sort of see the different, you know, the contrast between Manila as like this big city with the kind of more relaxed and sort of tranquil like environment, and like the nature's amazing, and just the people were so brilliant and welcoming, and
And you got on a Philippine horse.
Yes, yesterday we went to, is it the Taal, how do you pronounce it?
Taal volcano.
Taal volcano.
Tagaytay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And got on a horse right up to the top to see the like amazing views yesterday. So I was so fortunate. I felt really lucky to be alive yesterday to witness that. And I just think like there's just so much to offer here in the Philippines, and I've not been here too long, like what, 3 weeks, but I just feel like I've really fallen in love with it, to be honest. And it's amazing that I've come here to work, but I've also been able to see like other different things and sort of enjoy myself here as well as creating and working here. And I think that's an amazing position for me to be in, that my work brings me to somewhere like here, but then I can see what the country has to offer, and I just think it's brilliant.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
It's definitely more fun in the Philippines.
And we hope to invite you again and again to work with us in the company, and I hope you come and visit the country also and bring some friends along.
Oh my God, I'm so bringing people.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
and we are looking forward to the ballet. Its world premiere is going on October 10, 11, and 12 in the 19th season of Ballet Manila. So we're looking forward to that.
So am I.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be our guest here in Art2art.
You're welcome.
We are definitely going to have you back here again.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art2art, kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.